Namaste. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for coming tonight. This is the first time that we are organizing this Sutta chanting and discussion series. So we thought we would start with Maṅgala-sutta, Blessing Sutta, which is usually chanted in many different occasions. We are very happy that Venerable Dr. Ananda offered his blessing for this first Sutta session. Now, to introduce Venerable Nanda. He has been a monk since he was 13. He was very young. And Venerable got his bachelor degree from University of Kelaniya from Sri Lanka. Then he came to Hong Kong University on scholarship to study master degree in Buddhist studies and a PhD degree. Now he is teaching in University of Hong Kong as an honorary lecturer. Now I'd like to invite Venerable Dr. Ananda to initiate the blessing in Pali language and later explain the meaning of the chanting and the sutta to us. Then we will follow with the shorter questions and answer time. And Venerable, please.
So good evening to everyone. We will start with the chanting of the Maṅgala-sutta. Then after the chanting, I will go on to explain the content of the sutta. So let's start the Maṅgala-sutta. Those who can chant, you can follow or just listen mindfully. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Evam me sutta me kam samayam bhagava savatiyam viharati jetavane anata pindikasa arame atako anyatara devatam avikantaya rattiya avikantavanna kevala kappam jetavanam uvasitva ena bhagavate upasankami Tua Bhagavantam Avivaditva Ekamantam Attasi Ekamantam Pitako Sadevata Bhagavantam Gataya Ajavasi Baho deva manusassa mangalani asintayo ahakam kamana suttana bodhi mangalamuttamam asevana sevalanam Panditanam sasevanam pujacha pujaniyanam hitam mangalamuttamam patirupadesavasusya Ubbhesakata punyata atta sammapanidesya etang manggalamuttamam baho satchansa sippansa vinayosa susikkito subhasita sayavacha etang manggalamuttamam Mata pito pattanam puttadharasya sanghaho anakulasa kammantang etang manggalamuttamam dhanam ca dhammacariya ca nyatakanam sasanghaho anavacchani kammani etang manggalamuttamam arati virati papa majjapanasa sanyamo appamadosa dhammesu etang manggalamuttamam garovo ca nivato ca santutti sakatanyata kalena dhamma savanam etang manggalamuttamam kanti suvasasata samananam sadasanam kalena dhammasakacca etang manggalamuttamam tapoca brahmacaryamsa Ariya sassana dassanam nibbana sassikiriyace etang manggalamuttamam Buddhassa loka dhammehi cittam yassana kampati asokang virajang kemang etang manggalamuttamam etadissani kattvana sabbattama parajitam sabbattang sutting gaccanti tang te sang manggalamuttamamti. So now we come to the content of the sutta. The Maṅgala-sutta is a discourse on the subject of blessing. Maṅgala means blessing. It can be something good, auspicious, fortune, all of this. This sutta is also known as Mahamangala-sutta in Sri Lanka. So this discourse is often, almost always, a part of the Theravada chanting ritual for all various occasions. It is included in the book of protection. There's a set of chanting they do for the blessing and protection. So the sutta is actually located in the Kuddaka Pata and the Sutta Nipata of the Kuddaka Nikaya in the Pali Canon. It's recorded there twice in the Pali Canon. It's found in two places. In terms of its popularity, I think this can only be compared to the Heart Sutra in the Mahayana Buddhist tradition. It's so much so that everyone knows in Theravada tradition. Well, when you say the Maṅgala-sutta, I think everybody knows it. The discourse, describe blessing. Blessing, is some wholesome personal from mundane to the ultimate spiritual goal. And it casts off, it removes certain superstitions, beliefs of sign, so-called auspicious, unauspicious, because Buddha was talking to a time in India where a lot of superstitions of what is to be blessing, what is to be good fortune, what is to be unfortunate, what is inauspicious, auspicious, all of these things were there. So it casts off, it cleared out the superstitions and describe the path. So all this called the discourse on blessing, but the sutta itself is not a blessing in a sense of something that you recite and you get it. Actually, what it does, it describes a path that leads to mundane, spiritual happiness. So it is a path, actually. It is not something that you recite and by virtue of your recitation, you get the blessing. Although traditionally that is how it follows. But if you understand the content of the discourse that we are going to discuss very soon, you see it is a total path. And the wisdom of the Maṅgala-sutta is that is so important is because it starts from very mundane level. It does not start, Sambhya, non-self, something very up, high, in advance. It's a start from where you are, from very mundane. It's a discussion, a journey, spiritual journey from a very mundane person, an ordinary person, with all social and family obligation, gradually transcending all of this, attaining the higher spiritual goal. So this is a path, is a very progressive and gradual. And it does not actually say to ask you to become a monk and nun and go away from the social and family responsibility. But with all of this, it describes how you can integrate Buddhist teaching while you are a family man with all social and family responsibility, and gradually you transcend and you go higher and higher level. So that is the actually beauty of this sutta. So there are, according to traditional interpretation, there are 38 factors. There are 38 factors, that means the 38 guidelines for a person to be happy and success, both in the mundane world as well as in the spiritual path. There are 38 factors. And these 38 factors, ranging from family responsibility, social obligation, then moral purification, and then finally the highest spiritual attainment. So we'll discuss the first, what are the 38 factors. Then we'll discuss later towards the end of the discourse, we will discuss how we can apply this, what are some classifications. So the first factors among the 38, it says, not associating with the immature or the foolish. Asevanasa valana. Here in the sense of vala is not in this, vala literally means child, but here in this context it means someone is not mature enough in order to distinguish wholesome, unwholesome, good, bad. So it doesn't have that kind of sense, of, in a way, moral sense. His behaviors is not developed. Characters are not developed. So in that sense. So the first factor is advice, is not to associate with the people who are immature or foolish in the sense that they are incapable of guiding someone to a good path or unable to distinguish wholesome and unwholesome, good, bad. You miss up everything. And the second factor is says associating with the wise. Panditana Sevanan. Panditana is usually means learned, wise. Associating with the wise. Associating with the learners who can distinguish wholesome, unwholesome, good, bad, and usually give guidelines, advices that lead to a good path, a wholesome advice. They don't drag to a bad state, rather help a person always. So that is the Pandita, that is the second. The third part is actually respecting those who are worthy of respect. Pujacha Pujaniyanam means respecting, venerating, honoring those who are worthy of veneration, those who are worthy of respect. And the fourth is residing in a suitable environment. Residing in a suitable environment. Patirupa Desa was residing or living in a suitable or conducive environment where one can practice Dharma. And number 5 is having a meritorious deeds done in the past, having certain sense of some good action done in the past. So for life to be pleasant, to be happy, you also need to have some good karmic consequence. Number 6 is having a right aspiration for oneself. Okay? It's having a right aspiration. It also implies self-confidence. After some of this English also having a self-confidence. In order to success in life, one need to have a right aspiration. The target should be right. The aspiration should be proper one. Or self-confidence is very much necessary. There should be self-confidence. And the number 7 is processing the vast knowledge. Bahutasat. Learning. Should be learned, educated. Number 8 is not just learning, but also need to have sippams. I refer to the term sippam is arts of craft, something more practical. For someone to be successful, only theoretical knowledge is not sufficient. With the theoretical knowledge, a person may not be able to survive in actual market. So from the very time of the day is emphasizing, a person should, apart from the theoretical knowledge, such is more theoretical knowledge. You should learn some crafts, some practical knowledge, some practical science, the skill in some practical thing. That is the tamasic punch. So it's not just the knowledge. Knowledge alone is not enough. Because remember, these are not meant for Buddhism always. It's implied in general. So if they have only the knowledge, they may not be able to survive when they go to the market. And this is like many times it's a problem. People study, they have a theoretical knowledge and everything. When they go to the actual market, they have to do something else. It's not just the knowledge they study. Through this program, they have to develop certain skill that they can survive. Okay? And number 9 is a susikkitu, well educated. Not just educated, not getting a degree, just matter of degree. But should learn the subject well, thoroughly, competence in the subject, whatever subject they follow, area they follow, should be competent in it, not just going, just following as usual, and at the end of it, you get a piece of paper and degree. That's not well educated. Well educated, we should be thoroughly well-versed in that, and thoroughly confident, able to discuss, converse, even define in that faith. Should have that kind of strong knowledge. Being disciplined, vinaya means of discipline. A person should have a disciplined life. Is an important. Is a disciplined life. And number 11, it says, having a pleasant speech. Suvasita siyavacha. Whatever he or she speak should be well spoken. Well spoken in the sense that they should be pleasant, as well as should be pronounced and accurately so that others can understand. So proper pronunciation, proper speech, able to speak clearly is an important factor for a person to be successful, able to communicate well with the people. That skill of communication should be there. Is actually referred to skill of communication. There should be a communication skill. Otherwise, with all your knowledge, all your training, if the skill of communication is not good, person will again suffer. Okay. Actually, if you read the commentary tradition, it says from 1 to 11 is the sutta can be divided into different stages of life. 1 to 11 is more relevant for a child, for children, because children should have this kind of background. Because children is the one very vulnerable to be influenced by other people they associate. For a mature person, if you associate with a person who is what you call the foolish or the immature, you know what is good and bad. Whatever he or she says, you are not going to copy it, imitate it. But it's the children vulnerable to it because they are in a stage not able to distinguish good and bad, wholesome and unwholesome. So whatever the people they associate, their friends, other people in around them, it's very important because they can easily influenced by them. What they say, what they do, they will imitate. And if they are associating with the people who are immature, foolish, cannot give proper advice, the children can very easily fall into danger. Then sometimes to the extent that they may ruin their life. So this is the one thing. The third factor is also say the children should be taught from a young age to respect, venerate, honor those who to be respected, honor, like teachers, parents, religious leaders. They are respectable people. So children, this quality of respecting others should be ingrained in the children education from young age. These are virtues. And number 4, residing suitable environment is also equally important because environment neighborhood is so important for children because whatever you teach them in a school, they will copy a lot of things from the environment. The people around the see what they say, what they do. So if the children are brought up in an environment where there's a lot of conflict, violence, all kind of negativities, children, automatically tend to inherit that kind of thing, quality in their mind. When once they learn this in a childhood age, that it can keep on influencing the rest of their life. Because whatever we learn at a childhood, to keep on influencing, it's not easy to give up that conditioning unless you really make a serious effort. You cannot actually give it up. So they will keep on influencing. The children should be brought up in an environment, in a conducive environment where it's a good, conducive environment. They'll learn something good, being compassionate, kind, people helping each other, practicing the Dharma. That kind of environment, automatically children inherit that quality of kindness, sharing, practicing Dharma. So it's very important. If a children is brought up in a war zone where there's a war, always conflict, violent, blood, imagine what is their characteristics going to be. They tend to be very violent very easily. They will not fear the blood because they have seen it from their young age. And this is what happened to the many part of the world. Children are easily getting into that, all this terrorism, because they are brought up in that kind of thing. Or children is brought up in a very brutal environment. They are more tend to be brutal than children brought up in a good environment where there are good people talking about kindness, love, compassion, respect. So this is very important for those who are parents to know how to bring up your children. This is a very concrete advice. This is a very concrete, something very mundane and very concrete. And the self-confidence. Children should be brought up with that quality of self-confidence. If they don't, bring up with the self-confidence, they are always brought up in a condition of fear and obey, so-called obedience. They don't have self-confidence. That lack of self-confidence in a young age can influence throughout their life. They will not have self-confidence. They will suffer from self-confidence. So it is an important that in the education system, if the parents from young age, they give them right inspiration. They should dream something good. Children should have a dream. Dream leads a long way. They should dream something good, wholesome, to be greater. So they should have good dreams. It's important. And they should be self-confident. They should have a self-confidence. And in terms of when it comes to the education, they should be versed in many knowledges. They should learn well. Whatever subject they learn, they should learn well. If they are just learning for the sake of learning, for the sake of degree, it will be difficult. They should learn thoroughly. That is the term bahusas. So that their confidence in their subject area. And apart from it, as I said before, not just the theoretical knowledge, they should also learn some skill, a practical skill that make them successful in the job market. So that is the means they should be well educated and they should be disciplined. They should have a good communication skill. Number 12 of the blessing, it says, taking care of parents, mata pitu patthana, supporting, taking care of, attending on parents. And number 13 is looking after one's wife and children. Buddha-Dharma sangaho. For a man, he should be responsible, a good father, take care of the children and take care of the wives. And number 14, it says, having an unperturbed education. I translate that unperturbed is anakula. No, akula is un plus akula, the term. Akula means conflict. Un is not. Akula, okay? Anakula, chakamanta. In some translation, you find a peaceful occupation. What does it mean, the peaceful occupation? It means it is an occupation that someone enjoy. If you take up a profession, kamanta here is not the karma, it's a profession. If you take up a profession that you do not like from your heart, it's not, doesn't go with you. So you don't like, but you're doing it, that will create some mental conflict. That is the akula. That will, because you keep on working and working, but you don't like it, then it creates a mental conflict in yourself. Why I do this? Why I do this? Then this can lead to some sense of depression, confusion, a lot of trouble. So one should choose a profession, an occupation that one enjoy, not just taking up a job, a career, just because of the job. But you also should be able to enjoy it. That is the term, anakula means. That is the meaning of peaceful occupation. That does not create conflict within yourself, in your mind. Imagine that you are taking up a profession, you're doing every day, there's something you don't like. Every time you go to work, you don't enjoy it. You keep on asking why I do it. That long-term thinking even can create depression, a problem. And you will not be good in that work because you don't enjoy it. So you have to give you sense of joy and happiness. That is the meaning of anakula. And should practice generosity. Should not be a stingy person. Should have some generosity. This is the dana. You should give, he or she. And live a life, truthful life, or live a life according to Dharma. Dharmacharya. Not a dishonest life, but an honest, a truthful life. Not life of dishonesty. And not only that, he or she should also support his relatives. That is a niyata kanansa sangha, not just supporting wife and children, parents, but when relatives need somehow, they are in a difficulty. It's also a moral obligation in Buddhism to support the relatives, to take care of them when they need the support. And class 18, engage in a blameless occupation. Anavajja kamma means a blameless occupation that is not blamed by others, not looked down by others, not despised by others. There is certain occupation that is not good, that is harmful. Although you want the money, but people don't like this profession. Everybody blame that kind of profession. So that should be abandoned. One should not engage in it and abstain from evil. A lay person should abstain from evil. Arati virati papa. Arati virati papa. Abstain from intoxicating drinks and drug. Should not take the drug and intoxication. Majjapanansa sanyama. The restraint. Okay. These 11 to 12. In my interpretation, is partly supported by the Pali commentarial interpretation. These are a concrete advice for a household man or woman. After education, you finish, you enter in the household life. Now you have a wife and children, you have a parents, you have a profession, so you talk about your profession, it talks about character, like you should refrain from the intoxication, doing evil. So these qualities are more relevant to a household, a person who enter in the household life after your education life. So he should perform his family obligation. It talks about the family obligation, social obligation, like your relatives and others. These are social. Your parents, your wife, your children, your family. So you have to person to be successful. So the blessing we see the sense of that should have a perform well the social obligation, family obligation, engage in a profession that he or she enjoys, and that should be blameless profession, not condemned, not despised by others. And it also talks about his or her characters. Character should be restrained from evil and restrained from intoxication and drug. Because if person do this, then it's very difficult to be successful. So these are very, very concrete, kind of universal, not necessary for Buddhist advice. That is in the Maṅgala-sutta. Now you can see what the blessing, what the Buddha talking about the blessing. Then from the 21, you find being mindful. Okay, I translated appamadu, heedful. In some books you find. I translate as mindful regarding all things. Dhammes. Everything a person does. Dhammes do not necessarily mean the teaching of the Buddha. It can be all phenomena. Everything a person does should be mindful. mindfully done. Okay? Then being respectful, gharavo. Person should be respectful, about to respect the seniors and others. Being humble without pride and conceit. That is the term nivatu. Nivatu refers to being humble, not having a pride and conceit of your position, your education, or whatever things. Should be always humble. And being satisfied. Because if you're not satisfied, you're going to be a miserable man, a miserable person in a society. And being grateful, another quality. Should be able to be grateful to the society, to the people, to the relatives, to the parents, whoever. Because we are living in an interconnected society where for my success, my existence, many more people around contributing. It is not me alone getting success. If I may financially or whatever, I'm successful, it doesn't mean my own ability alone will make this. There are many other factors. So environment, for instance, you get to be successful. To create that environment, how many people are contributing? So you need many, many people. People working in a different, doing researches in medicine, when you have no connection with them. But they spend a day and night to produce the medicine. Because of that, you can remain healthy. So Buddha should have a sense of that interdependence and being always grateful to every word, to those who help us and also those who are not directly helping us, but indirectly contributing for my existence, for my success. And listening Dhamma at a proper time. Kalena Dhamma Savana. Time to time, because you are not still a monk, so you cannot listen Dhamma all the time. You have your preparation, your social family responsibility. But whenever you get a time, you should listen to them. That is the Kalena, the proper time. Proper time is when you get a time. There is no such a specific time to say proper time on Friday or Saturday or Sunday. There's no such a time. What is suitable, what is proper, that's depend on you. It should be a time where you are not too hurried. If you come to listen to them at a hurry, then you are worried with something. You're not able to concentrate. So you come to a certain time where you can really concentrate, listen without being worried. Your social family responsibilities, if you're worried about something, you come to listen to them, you cannot concentrate. So they should be first down, then come at a time. So proper time doesn't mean any specific time. What is proper and improper is very subjective. It depends on each individual. It cannot be categorized. Then being patient, counting. Yeah, that is an important factor, important quality. Often if you are, passionless, you want everything to achieve very soon, a quick success. That is not possible. Amiable to advise or easily spoken to. Suvasata means not arrogant. An arrogant person get easily insulted and hurt when something is said. Or say, what you have done may be not good, it can down the other way. And very arrogant person would feel insulted. Why should I be told by a particular person lower than my own status? She said, no, that should not be there. Should be easily corrected person. Easy to approach, easy to speak to. Not an arrogant person. And visiting spiritual teachers. Visiting spiritual teachers. Samanansa dasana. So time to time, you should visit the spiritual teachers. You cannot visit all the time, but time to time, you should visit the spiritual teachers. Discuss with them. Next factor is a discuss. In Buddhism, it's not just listening. It's not just listen to what your teacher say and say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. No. You should discuss. There's a kalena dhamma sakasa. Time to time, you should also discuss. Even you should be even critical at a time. If you're not clear, you should raise your question again and again, clarify. That is a discussion. Not just listen, sit down, go. That is basic. Active way is you listen, you digest, if not clear, you ask question, or even you be critical about it. That is there. Buddha allow it. So that is the main Kalena Dhammacakkacha. So this, from the 20 to the 30, can be qualities of a person now who is shifting towards a religious. A person to be successful in a religious path, Yeah. To be in the religious path should have this quality. It should be mindful. For a spiritual path to be successful, a person who is on the spiritual path should be mindful of every moment, whatever they do. And they should respect their teachers. They should be humble, and this should not have a conceit and pride. Being satisfied, grateful to others, these are qualities. And listen to Dhamma, practice Dharma, okay? Visit their spiritual teachers and discuss the Dhamma, clarify their doubts, and practice austerity. 31 is said, practice austerity. That is actually Taoism, means austerity is in meditation. That is a term they use, Tapa. Means originally the Tapa Buddhism developed the term meditation. In Buddhist texts also you find that Tapa is meditation. They should practice meditation, not just listening and doing time to time. They also should practice meditation and living a spiritual life. Okay? Brahmacharya. This is more applicable for monks and nuns who are on the spiritual path. This advice. For them to be successful, they should have this quality. Passion, mindfulness, able to be easily corrected, easily spoken to, and approachable, not complaining, having a personality that nobody can approach. Should be very easily approachable person. And discuss the Dharma and live a spiritual life. They should, have insight into Full Noble Truth. They should aim at their target should to realize the spiritual Full Noble Truth and experience on Nibbana. Their aim should be to experience the Nibbana. That commitment for the monks and nuns should be there. Without that commitment, they will be easily misled. So many problems can happen. I think Chris already showed me the time. It's almost up. I try to finish it on time. So these qualities are more towards who have started to practice in a spiritual life, not necessarily monk and nun, whoever want to be successful, even as a layperson. When you come to the spiritual path, these are the qualities that you need to have. If you are a proud person with a pride, conceit, your position, everything, you're not going to be successful. And you should have a very clear aim to realize your Full Noble Truth, realize the Nibbana. That should be aim. When you divert from it, there will be problem. The last four, actually, these are more qualities of a more advanced spiritual person. When you're a spiritual path, you're gradually more advanced. When a more advanced, a spiritual person should not be affected, shaken by worldly condition of gain, loss. These are worldly things. There will be loss and gain, common phenomena, fame, defame. Somebody will praise, somebody will criticize. They will frame, they will blame, praise, happiness and sorrow. These are a worldly condition. Mind is not shaken. Mind is not shaken by this worldly condition. Because for a spiritual person, how do you judge a spiritual person whether he's advanced or not? These are qualities you have to check. Whether the person is easily shaken with the gain, loss, fame, defame, blame, praise, happiness, and so on. If for an advanced spiritual person, spirituality means you are not easily shaken. It doesn't mean he doesn't know about this. It means he's not shaken, not affected Then, furthermore, being grievous, asokam, is sorrowless, being contented, being without defilement, okay, and being secure, kema. Being secure means, he doesn't suffer from the sense of insecurity. What will happen tomorrow? Maybe this problem, that problem. The society is going to suffer from this. The coronavirus may come and pandemic is start. He doesn't suffer from that kind of thing. He feels secure, internally secure. The external thing doesn't bother him too much. That's the meaning of it. These are the qualities. Last four are the qualities of a more advanced spiritual person. I think basically I have covered the last PowerPoint. Actually, what I give, I have already explained. So I don't actually need to repeat. So I think I finished almost in time. So you can see that Maṅgala-sutta is a start from your child, from your environment, from your education, and it gradually leads you to the state of spiritual perfection, where you are not shaken, where you feel internally secure. So this is the blessing. So you can see that this is not something that you chant and get the blessing. When Buddha was asked, what is blessing? These are the advice given by Buddha to be successful. So blessing in the sense of successful. To be successful at different stages of life, in education, in a child, in a family man, or religious person started to practice religion, finally lead to a most advanced spiritual goal. So this is a very down to the earth. This is the beauty of this sutta. So I hope you get the message. I think my time is up. I cannot take longer time. I'm happy to answer any question you have.
Thank you very much, Venerable Dr. Nanda. The talk is very informative, and then you have explained very well and very detailed and then very clear. So I would like to ask anybody who has questions. Okay, please.
Thank you. Venerable, I have two comments to make. One is a question, the other one is a comment, but you might want to add on to that. I'm interested in the first 11 factors that you state are for children. They're very wise, and I agree with all of them, but I'm also wondering that we shouldn't just emphasize they are for children, because even as adults, we have to respect others, avoid foolish people or ones who are unwholesome for us. So, well, I know within the structure of the sutta itself, yes, you begin with the child and go on to the final advanced spiritual practitioner. But I think we should also try to remember even those first 11 are important for us throughout all our life, not just as a child, that we forget once we are no longer a child. And my question here is, because when I was reading the Maṅgala-sutta, I was thinking, how would you compare that with the Sigalovada Sutta in the Digha Nikaya?
Yeah, according to for the first comment, I just want to elaborate on it. The sutta itself does not categorize this for children, this for a household man, this for a new religious person. These are the qualities of advance. This is my own classification. And if you go back further to the last two PowerPoint, you can say, I say more relevant. It does not mean they are not relevant to an adult person, this quality. I did say they are more relevant because a children can be more vulnerable to this kind of environment than an adult person. If you're associating an elder person, associating with a person, who is foolish, unwise, he or she may tell you, you are not easily going to. Yeah, maybe some people, but in average, you're not going to, you get easily influenced. You say, it's okay, that's your theory. I don't buy it. Because you have a standard, you know what is good, what is bad. You can distinguish wholesome and unwholesome, bad and good. So in that respect, I say children are more vulnerable, but it doesn't mean these are not applicable for others. These are applicable for all stage of life. But these are, you say, things that you are a mom for a long time. Don't you think you should associate with the who or the who are mature? You should associate more with them because they are the people who need your help. It doesn't mean, oh, Maṅgala-sutta say, don't associate with the fool. That person is unwise, immature, and he's kind of having certain bad things. I dissociate myself from it. We should not assume that. We should not generalize the theory because we should understand the factor from the context, what it means. So, because at this stage as a monk, you have studied Buddhism, you have studied many things, you are not easily going to be influenced by that person because he or she says something. You have your own moral criteria, standard that you can distinguish. That is why I say they are more relevant to the children. But let's say people who don't have education, people who don't have proper in a rich village, maybe in India or somewhere, they are similar to the children. Because their level of wisdom, children is not defined by age. Children is defined by your understanding of wisdom. Those people who have not been educated, they are just like children. And you look at it in the context, or in my country, we say somebody has done something, say something about your religion. Thousands of people will come and try to kill that person without any understanding. The children follow like that. They have no, faculty of understanding to distinguish good and bad. Is can right? Should I make some experiment? What did actually he or she says? They don't have that kind of level. Most people in the countryside without education and things like that, they are also children. Because children are, when I say, it's not defined by age, it's also defined by the intellectual faculty. That is why the term bhava. Because they are, by age, have grown up, but by wisdom, by understanding they have not grown up, they remain to be children. So this is more applicable for them. Because if they associate with bad people, they can easily. I don't have a time to elaborate, but otherwise I want to really give more example, a concrete example, how this thing happening today in India and Bangladesh, very concrete. How one person is misguiding thousands of people, say something, and thousands of people are doing, and they're ruining their life, their family, somehow. It's very concrete. They're just associating with the bad people. They're not bad people by themselves. So this is the thing by children, what I mean. So it's applicable to everybody, but I say more applicable to the children. Your second question, you say, is, what I know. Can you say the second? Okay, I come to you. How do you distinguish the Sūtra and the Maṅgala-sutta? They are related. Sūtra is a more elaborated version. It's more for the layperson. Sūtra is often defined as a, layman ethics. Because it defines more like what kind of profession, it talks about investment, what you want, how much you should spend, how much you should save for your future, how much you should invest. For instance, it says, you have to, whatever you want, you have to make certain percentage. 1% you have to spend for your daily expenses. 1% you should save for your future in terms of the danger and calamities. 2%. Twice, that means after the four quarter, the half of your wealth, your income, should be invested to generate more income to be a successful person in a society. So Sūtra is more detailed explanation. It gives more kind of elaborated version, like the responsibility from parents towards the children, children towards the parents. So from husband towards the wife, wife towards the husband, vice versa. Monks and nuns towards the lay society, and the lay society towards the monk. So they are related. Maṅgala-sutta is very common, I would say, brief version is briefly described, but Sūtra goes on to describe further detail. Both are related. But the Maṅgala-sutta, one thing is Sūtra is not a journey, starting from a lay person to ending up to be a spiritual person. It is more about the lay life itself, about your responsibility towards the different groups, in a society, family responsibility, on how you earn money, what kind of profession you should avoid, what kind of profession you should take, this kind of thing. It's not a Maṅgala-sutta describe a journey from an ordinary person, goes up and up to a spiritual saint. So Sutta is focused on one, Maṅgala-sutta keep on transcending. So it's something, a progressive path. From here you start and you go. Sutta is something like this. It goes just explain your lay life and the responsibility of living. Is it clear? Any other question?
Yes, any other questions? Oh, yes, please.
So I think this teaching is very smartly and cleverly carried out by the Buddha. And because, it says Maṅgala Buddha, and then of course Maṅgala-sutta. And then normally our Chinese translation would be 吉祥經. So we thought, we'll be blessed by this sutta, and believing that, by praying to this Buddha and respecting and bowing to him, then we'll get the blessing, the power. But in fact, we go through all the 38, in fact, the effort is on ourselves. We have to do all these ourselves instead of relying on the outside or somebody's power. So I think this is very carefully, it's a really utmost clever teaching, because the power is in fact in our hands. Thank you.
Is there any other questions? Yeah, we only have a couple of minutes left, and then perhaps I will ask the last question, Venerable. Yes, please forgive my Pali. In Sutta, they mention this the Santudi, contentment. Yeah, contentment. Yes, yeah. So how would you apply this contentment to the everyday life, or how should we have the state of mind to apply in our lives? Thank you.
You say, okay, first I go to your comment that what you say is not peculiar to the Chinese tradition, is equally applied to the Theravada tradition. This sutta is sounded every day, almost every day, in the different houses for all different occasions, and very often they don't even care to know what is the meaning there. Many of them they know Maṅgala-sutta, but they don't know what is the content there. With the belief, Maṅgala-sutta is talking because of the term blessing. It's empowering me by listening itself. So that's come because people don't read and understand about it. So in Buddhism is a total empowerment is within yourself. You have to empower yourself. There's no external power. The Buddha just cannot, empower you. So it's a common phenomenon. Both. I have been a bit vocal on this in my country. Last few times when I went there, I have been trying to tell them by listening the Maṅgala-sutta 100,000 times is not going to improve your life at all unless you are trying to apply it. So that blessing, it never come a blessing. If you are listening thousands of times, applying the Theravada tradition, a person may have listened here more than 1,000 times, but their life remains they were no change. So this is because of the lack of understanding, lack of education. Then I think we need to think seriously about our way of propagation of Dhamma. That's partly we have to take the responsibility as a monastic community. This is how we preach, and we keep on make it only a ritual. Okay, we recite Maṅgala-sutta, finish. We don't care to take a time to explain what they are. So this is a common phenomenon. It's my comment. Then your question is a very interesting question. What is the contentment? What is the criteria of contentment? The term varies, is very subjective. At what level do you feel content? Is there any criteria? No. Contentment is a mental quality. It's not depend on the quantity. If you try to base your contentment based on the quantity, you can never be satisfied. So At the different stages in the society, obviously, people's status are different. People earning there because of their own ability, they earn a different salary, and for many reasons. Some are rich, some are poor, some are earning more, some are earning less, some are more privileged, some are less privileged. Imagine that you keep on comparing yourself to the other, you earning less, you compare with others who are earning more, and you suffer every day. You suffer me. I should be of that person. That person has such a nice flat. I do not have one. That quality. You can never. There is no standard at how much I should be contented. Whatever that you can earn. Of course, you should be able to meet your daily needs and things like that. And with that, you're contented. Contented, very often people understand wrongly. Contented, a pessimistic quality. I contented means I don't aim for more. That is not the thing. Buddhism doesn't teach you, because I am contented, I don't earn more. I don't find a better job. I don't find a better position. I don't increase my business because I'm contented. No. That's not the thing. It means you don't have a sense of jealousy, sense of competing with others, and feeling envious yourself. You still with the positive hope. There's aspiration. You want to earn more. You want to find a better job. You want to have a better house. Everything is fine, but not making yourself a miserable one. When you are not contented, you keep on comparing somebody's house, somebody's property. You feel always very miserable. I am so miserable. And this has no end. You can be very, idealist and call for a communist ideal where everybody will be equal. That was a theory advocated by some of our big leaders. But history have proved they were wrong, they failed. So-called communist society is more diverse. There's discrimination between poor and rich, all different. Is even more there. Nothing survived because the fact is that we are human beings are different. Our capacities are different. Society will be always different. Contentment doesn't mean you don't aim higher. You aim higher. You want to get more. You want to improve yourself. You want to do your business better, or in spiritually, you want to practice more at higher stages. Everything but with a positive mind. A mind of love, compassion should be always there. You don't feel jealousy. You don't feel I should kill the person or try to destroy the person. I should do something because he or she is earning more than me. That should not be there. That is the meaning of contentment. Contentment should not be understood in a pessimistic sense of not encouraging to earn more, not encouraging to find a better position. This is unfortunately a wrong explanation of contentment. That is not contentment. There is no standard of contentment. How much you want in terms of quantity, then you are contented. There is no such a thing. You should continuously aspire to get more, better, improve your life in a mundane life as well as in a spiritual life. That process, effort should be there, but they should be done in a right way, in a proper way, not going into the wrong path, trying to destroy others, trying to harm others, having a mind of jealousy. That is the meaning of contentment. Is it clear?
Mavis, sorry to interrupt you. There is a question from the online viewers. Let's very shortly.
Yes.
The question is, what is the meaning of Puttasa Loka Dhammehi? So the Venerable may very short, very briefly answer.
Okay. Puttasa Loka Dhammehi. Puttasa Loka Dhammehi. That is the 11 in the Maṅgala-sutta. The last, I think the 34 on this, if you're following the slide, I think 36 or 37. Perhaps the 38. So there, puttacha means a touching. Puttasa means touch. Putta means touch. Loka Dhammehi is an instrumental case by Loka Dhamma. Dhamma, not the Buddha's teaching here. Loka, world, mundane. Dhamma means the phenomena. Not touch or shaken or affected by Lokadhamma, mundane phenomena. What are the mundane phenomena? I have already explained. Loss, gain. This is a mundane phenomena. They have been there. They will be there. Always. They are there. Then fame, defame. There will be fame. Somebody care, your popularity, and things also the other way around. These are rise and fall. Then praise, blame. Someone will praise you. Someone is then you have lastly you have what is more the last one. So these are by the way, these are the Lokadhamma. These are the Lokadhamma. I think if you go here, I have given this Lokadhamma. Somewhere here. Yeah. So gain, loss, fame, defame, blame, praise, happiness, and sorrow. These are mundane in a sense that they're in the mundane level. They will be always, they have been there, they are there, they will be there. Imagine a person too much concerned about it. What a miserable life you're living. You gain, you're very happy, that's okay. When you lost, you get to disappointment, depression, sometimes to the stand that commit suicide. These are the things. If you gain, there should be also loss. It's natural. Anywhere. There's nothing, only gain. There will be loss too. You must accept this phenomenon. And loss doesn't mean it's lost forever. You can make effort. Next time you gain. So these are mundane things. You should not get affected too much by it. Otherwise, you make your life fame. Yeah, one time you can have a fame. For some other reason, your fame may lose. Or whatever, for a reason, it can happen. Then, blame and praise. There will be people who are praising. So when you get the praising, you're so happy. You always expect praising. But obviously, the world is that there will be some people blaming me too. So if you worry too much about the blame, can you live the life? You feel so sad. So if you are too much affected by this worldly condition, you keep on suffering, you make your life miserable. That is what it means. Puttasa lokadhammehi chittang na kampate. Any other question?
No. Venerable Dr. Ananda, Dhammi, thank you very much. I mean, we don't have much time. We have been running out of time. So I would like to conclude by saying that thank you very much. And thank you very much for coming to the audience. And then thank you very much all the online viewers. We're going to have many Sūtra discussions in future. Please join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.